All right, what's going on, everybody? We'll wait a few minutes. I don't think YouTube is putting out there that we're live because I don't see nothing on my screen showing that. So we'll have to see what's going on. So we'll give it a few minutes to see what's going on here. Steve says lame. Started like an hour and something early. We might shut it down and try 9 o'clock, but we had some things going on. So we thought we might try it going live now. But of course, it's not showing anything on the video. So what's up, Clyde? Did you get it doesn't even show me live on here. So I don't know what's going on. Nothing, zero, zilch. So I don't know what's happening. You see me? You received a notice? All right, because I don't have any notice. And like I said, if I go to my channel, it doesn't even show it on here. So who knows? Who knows what's going on? Anyway, we'll start. I can't pin any messages, so that part of it will not be working. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube nowadays. We're going to do a little bit of schools in session. We'll talk a little bit about factoring companies and things like that, and why I factor and so forth. Let's see what's going on here. You're only live on the small channel. I should be live on the big channel. It's got a check mark. It says you are live. So I'll hit view on YouTube. Let's see what it says. Video unavailable. This video is private. Why is it private? So it's showing private. So I don't understand that. So I have to go to YouTube Studio probably and change that out of private. So this is StreamYard garbage, right? StreamYard garbage. If I was on my other one, we wouldn't be doing this. Just saying. So let's go here. Let's click on this live button. Let's hit public. All right. So how's that? Now we should be on the other channel. I don't know why that was set to private. That makes no sense. But it was, so it is what it is. We'll wait now. All right, there we go. So we've been live for a little while. Hold on a minute. See, every time I do something, there's always stuff going on. You thought you could get away from it in the evening, but it's 24/7. So I always read these things about factoring and everything, right? You get all this stuff going on, and it's always the same deal, right? It's always the same deal where they try to say it's enormous interest rates and all that when they don't even know the terminology, folks. It's not an interest rate. There's no such thing. It's a fee. It's like a credit card swipe fee. Like if you go to an ATM, it's a fee. People even try to put that into an interest rate. You know? Well, they put anything you do has a fee, pretty much, in this country. But why do I use a factoring company? Because it is my collections department, it's my billing department, and it also helps with the payroll department. And I would have to hire somebody. Now, could I float the company myself? I sure could. I don't have to use one if I don't want to. But for the fee that they charge, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to have them because instead of having one person doing all the billing and keeping track of it and running down the money and so forth and so forth, you might have 50, 60 people in your corner, not just one. Not just one. Not only that, you'll have a lot of capital tied up, a lot of the money tied up, waiting. And here's an example. So Thunder Funding gives us this nice deal to use right here. It's checking on factory or on brokers, their credit report, right? So they give us this, which is nice because, if I look up this broker and if I wasn't factoring, right, because, it's a 30-day deal, it could take longer than that. Like right here, in December, there were 49 days to pay, 49. 37, 37, 49. Yeah, they're in the 30s, right around 30 a lot. But there are some exceptions where they click close to 50 days. Why would you want your money held up for almost 50 days? Makes no sense. Zero. None. So, of course, the more volume you put through a company, the better rate you're going to get, right? Because not everybody's paying the same. Hold on a second. Okay, so it's a fee. So for instance, if you're paying 3% to a factoring company, that's the fee. So if it's a $2,000 load, you pay $60. That's your fee. A lot of people say, well, you could get a credit line, a line of credit from your bank and do it. It's not the same, folks. Not the same. Your credit line, after you go past the 30 days, they're going to hit you again. Factoring company ain't going to charge you at the 40th day again. So it's not the same. They like to take, apples and compare them to oranges, just to try to show a point or, say their way's better or anything else. You run your business the way you want to run your business. Personally, I'd rather use them and have all that extra help in the background instead of hiring somebody to do it and paying the Social Security, Medicare, and all that other good stuff. Before we go on, show some examples. I mean, I can post the live feed if somebody wants to join in, but I might not let you join. I might let you join. I'm not sure. I'm more one of those moods today. And that's just how it's going to be. So let's go on down here. Pigtail's in the house. What's up, Pigtail? Of course, Canadian freight broker. Glad you're here. St. Nick Pigtail, Bull of the Woods. What's up? PJ, what's happening? That one guy, James G, what's going on the other side of the state over there? Now we're going to skip over Storler's comment. Where did he put his up there? Ali, what's happening? Clyde, Garland, what's going on? Greg D. Dennis, what's going on? We live? What's up? Yeah, we're live now. I was going to wait till 9 o'clock, but we got things going on. I probably wouldn't be available at 9. We'll see. This probably go through 9. I don't know. Just in case I have to run and leave for emergency or something. We're doing it right now. What's up, Max Force? That one guy, is the sky falling? I can't tell, man. I'd see a ceiling. No, the sky's not falling. People will complain. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the rates, right? You're talking about the rates and the fuel prices and things like that. No, the sky's not falling. What's falling is their wallet, because they have never been on the market or were an owner operator when there was bad times or reduced rates. They came in with super high rates. They think that's what it always should be, and that's what's going to be. But then they bought these high overpriced trucks, overpriced trailers, and now they're paying the piper. It was a bad business decision. It's the same thing, right? Like a housing, prices are up, right? Prices are up, but interest rates are soaring. So if someone buys the house today, they got to realize that they're going to be paying more in the payment field, a whole lot more than what they would have last year. So it depends on how high how much you borrow, right? So if you go out there and if you borrow, pick a number. Say you borrow $1 million, and let's say it goes up. It was like right around 283. It goes up 2 basis points. You could be paying $2,000 more a month just in the payment from what other people are paying from last year. But if you know going into that and you say, yeah, I'm happy, I'm good with that because I can afford it, then okay. But see, there's a big difference there. You're going into that knowing that, and you have income to afford that. Where these guys and gals go out there and say, oh, I got this truck. I paid $240,000 for it, brand new, when it should only been $150,000. And then they go, oh, well, I bought this van trailer for $90,000, which should have been $32,000. And they have these astronomical payments because they have these high rates for the last year and a half. And now, bam! There you go. They go down. Things happen. You got war over there in the European area and all that stuff going on. You got high interest over here. People don't know where the food supply is going to happen. We got shortages here, shortages there, shortage of parts. Can they sustain that high truck and trailer payment when the truck goes down? And they say, oh, it'll be 2 months before you get it fixed, or 3? Absolutely not. Most of them can anyway. So this is great because you can go in here and you can check credit scores and see if they're approved or not. So if we just put a company in here, I'll just make up one, KI. So let's just say King of Freight, and we do a search. And we'll pick one. And it's spinning. There we go. So we see they got about a 92 or 95 out of 100. And then we look at their days to pay. They're in the 30s. They hit a 41, but they're pretty good. That you'll get your money. So if you weren't factoring, how would you know this? Are you going to pay to belong to one of these places to check it out? Most people don't, right? That's how they get themselves in trouble. That's how they end up at the end of the year with several brokers that owe them money, or they're 70 or 90 days out. But, they won't come on YouTube or their Facebook pages and say anything about that. They'll just, same old story. So basically, and people say, well, I do quick pay. Quick pay is the same thing as factoring. Sorry to tell you, it's a fee, right? 2%, 3%, 5%. Some are 5. Some, so if you do a lot of business with some folks, you might get down below 2. But just like C.H. Robinson, they have a sliding scale. Depending on how much you run for them. Depends how much that fee is. I don't know if JB's the same. I think they used to be like that a while back. Then some will say that They don't charge, but they don't pay on time either. So if you all think that there's that one company out there that, pays on time, I've had that one company take almost 60 days to pay a Raycon. Let's see here. What's up, Paul? What's going on? Desroki Pam, Mr. Charles, that one guy, Nevada. They try to use the internet rate scheme to make their idea look better so they feel smarter. Well, yeah, they got these calculators that, when they punch the buttons, it comes up with different numbers. What's up, Provost? Oh, sir, good evening. SIC, what's going up? What's going down? Mike Johnson, what's happening? 2,100 hours. It's okay because lots of times they'll fall asleep, Mike. It's quiet in the house at the homestead tonight, so I figured, hey, I better get on here at, let's say, 7:30 and get this thing cranked up and going, because whenever it comes back, it gets noisy and chaos and everything, so it's hard to do that. But in the new building and stuff, I'll build I'll put a studio in there, or I'll be where there's no noise, right? So we won't have to worry about that. Kane Freiberg says, Jeff, what is funny is that 100 carriers agree with you why de factor. There are 150 carriers that say you're giving away money. At the end of the day, truck brokering is a bank for shippers. All right, what's up, Sam? What's happening? All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about this right here. You're giving away money. Do you know some of the biggest mega carriers out there factor their loads? They factor their money. Why? Why not? It's low interest. Well, it's not interest. It's a low fee, right? Because a lot of them, when you're talking that kind of money, they're below 1%. Below. So why not use the bank's money and keep yours to make more money? For instance, pick a number. Let's take a small trucking company. A small company, and you could take 10 trucks, 20 trucks, 30 trucks, whatever you want. So, and let's figure that out. We'll use 10. Let's say you take 10 trucks. Just an easy number, right? So let me bring the big board back up in here, the big screen. All right, so if you have 10 trucks, and let's say the average truck's doing $25,000 a month, right? Let's say the trucks are doing, on an average, $25,000 a month, and you got 10 trucks. That's simple math. It's $250,000 a month. Now, those 10 trucks, to do this, how much fuel do you think one truck's going to use in a month? And that 25,000. So, if they're doing 1,500 miles a week or 2,000 miles a week, we'll just say 2,000 miles, just for the heck of it. About 7 miles a gallon. So you get about 300 gallons. That's 1,200 gallons in a month. If you take it by $4 a gallon, it's $4,800. Let's just round it for even numbers to $5,000 a month in fuel, right? So you got your fuel over here, $5K a month per truck, 10 trucks, that's $50K. So you add that $50K to here, and you got $300K float per month. That's what you got to float. So anybody know anything about investing? If you take $300K, well, if you have $250 here, and let's say you're getting 2%. Let's say you're paying 2% on this money. That's what we use. We use 2%. So you're paying $5,000. right? You're paying $5,000 on that money to factor it. You take $300K because you have to float this fuel. You won't have to float the fuel if you're factoring, because that'll just be coming out because you're getting that money all the time. It just recirculates. So if you took the $300K and invested it, you can make more than $5,000. But let's say you make 1.5%. It's $4,500. Now your factoring fee, your factoring only costs you $500 a month because you took your money and invested it, which gave you a return. You subtract it from what it cost you, and so now you're only paying $500. But wait, there's more. What happens when it goes past 30 days? What happens to this number if you were floating it all yourself? Let's say only half of the people paid you in that 30 days. Now you got $125,000 sitting there. Right? You got 125. Half the month goes by. Still didn't get any money. We're going to do a hypothetical here. Let's say you go to the next 30 days and you got 250 there. Now you got 375K, and we'll keep the fuel at 50. You got 4.25K. So I hope you got a lot of money in the bank that you saved up to float that. But even if they started paying and you end up somewhere around the 375, it's not 250 no more, is it? Then you got to chase your money, right? You got to, hopefully they pay you, ACH it, or they send you checks. Or you could have 5 or 10 brokers that don't want to pay right away, and they say, oh, well, we couldn't read your bill of lading. And they don't tell you. So at the 30-something day mark, you got to call them up and get a hold of them and say, how come we haven't got our pay? Well, we can't read that. We need the originals, the original bill of ladings. Now you got to fight them again. And they know they can do this to you when you're not using a funding company like Thunder Funding, let's say, because they know you're not going to go ding it on their credit report, on the broker report over here, right? But they know the funding company has access to that, and they can just hit it right there, boom. And they can say no pays, no buys, and it shows up. For instance, let me see. Let me bring this back up. See right here, noteworthy issues, write-off. 10/14/2020, there was a write-off, and you can click on it, and it'll tell you, right? Then there's good pay, credit hold, good pay, slow pay. So it's anonymous or slow pay. Their server invoices are getting old with this company, slow pay. Write-off. Look at all the write-offs. Slow pay, no pay, paid over it, notice, and so forth. So you can sit here and see what was going on with this company back in 19 and 20 during the pandemic, right? You could see what was happening. Non-payment complaint, 17, 19, 17. So back in 17, 19, I wouldn't have never hauled for these folks, because look at all this non-payment complaint. Average day to pay is increasing. Multiple promise dates are given and payments are not received. So you got all this stuff that you can sit there and look at. But if you don't use a funding company, you ain't plugged into these credit checks, reports and things like that, how are you going to know? You're not. And you're going to haul for those folks back then, and guess what? You're stuck with the bill. Oh, well, you can go against their bond. Well, yeah, you can, but it's a lot harder than what you think. Just because you go against their bond don't mean you'll get the money. Does not mean you'll get the money. What's up, Shannon Thomas Trucking? Still got your hat. I'll just put it in the mail probably. What's up, Jason? What's going on? So, and I don't care what anybody says. My opinion, this right there that's scrolling across the bottom of your screen, best funding company, period. Those guys are top notch. You've ever met Willie and Scott and the whole crew, like Evan and all them guys at the truck shows and all that. Awesome people. Sean, great marketing guy. All those guys and gals are awesome. Call up. Anybody can answer your question. You go to one of the big conglomerates that's not really in the trucking business. These guys are in the trucking business. They know all facets of it. They know the brokerage part of it. They know the trucking part of it. They know the insurance part of it, so forth and so forth. You go to the big conglomerates, all they know is fees. They're a bank. They know nothing about trucking. That's why these guys give you a great fuel card. Hard to find a great fuel card with a factoring company, but these guys do. So call them up. Tell me watch them on this channel, and you'll get a good deal, and they'll take care of you. Let's go back to some comments. I said, anybody want to join in? You can, because I don't know when we're going to end this feed. All right, so I got to remove this from the stream. You see how this could add up. So funding it yourself is okay, but there comes a time where your time is money. Time is money. Is it worth your time to sit there and chase after these brokers? Remember, think about it, folks. How many times you try to call a broker back and they don't answer your phone call? Hard to get a hold of. When you want detention, right? When you want detention and all that stuff, they stop answering your call, or you can't get a hold of them. What do you think is going to happen when you do a $10,000 load and maybe they don't want to pay you for that $10,000 load? You think you're going to get a hold of them? Should you get a hold of them to get $50 for detention? What's up, Jose? Top Dollar Logistics, what's going on? Robert, Keck, what's happening? With both feet, hi everybody. Hope everybody's okay. Jerome, what's going on? Do you have a membership? Yeah, we have a membership. Join. There's a join button somewhere in there. You can join a membership. Do that. Eventually I'll start putting some private videos up there and things like that. The Dean, sorry to hear that, Dean, if you're watching. Dean's very sick. He caught something. So we wish him well. We'll be praying for him. Dean's a great guy, great businessman. So we hope he recovers, has a speedy recovery. The reason I have to go maybe is our granddaughter's in the hospital tonight. So I'm getting some stuff checked. And so depends on what that is. I might have to leave. So we're keeping a close eye on the phones. Hold on a minute. All right. Plus my mom's in the hospital having surgery, all kinds of stuff going on. And you still, this COVID thing going on, this ramped up here in Michigan again, I guess they say, and mass stuff already, back in place in places and so forth, which I was going to go up there, but then I think they postponed it because they didn't call us and tell us that it was happening today. So we'll see. I got all kinds of stuff going on. What's up, Bugatti? Anything above 15% is a plus above fixed and variable cost. Yeah, so what Bugatti is saying is if you do your cost per day and you're 15% above, it's a plus. Why? Because think about it. If you put your house and all your bills in there and plus all your bills from your trucking company, then that's 15% profit above and beyond what you need to live on and to pay all your bills. And, those people on those other channels that say, oh, cost per mile, no, cost per mile is not where it's at. You'll never know what you're doing at cost per mile. You'll be losing money. Why? Because you really don't know what your cost per mile is. You want to know what your cost per mile is for last year? It's easy, folks. Take your gross amount on your 1099 and divide it by your miles. Right? So you take your gross, and you'll see what you made per mile. Right? You may see that's your gross per mile. Then take your gross to get your cost per mile. Take your gross minus your expenses, right? And you'll get your net per mile. We're getting to the cost per mile. See, we're really mess people up. Take your expenses, divide it by your miles, and that's your cost per mile. See, for those guys that want to talk cost per mile, I'm going to mess them up, right? Oh, well, he said this, he said that. Take your expenses on your total expense line. So, for instance, if you gross 300 grand and you had $188,000 expenses and you ran 100,000 miles, your cost per mile is $1.88. But wait, you can't go by that the next year. Oh, I got to take everything that's $1.88 or above and I'm making money. No, that was for that year. It changes depending on how many miles you run. That's why it's not a good formula, because it's dependent on how many miles you run. Because do easy math. If two guys have the same truck, right? Same type of truck, and they both have $200,000 in expenses, right? They have $200,000 in expenses, and the one guy does 100,000 miles. His cost per mile is $2, right? $2 a mile. Now, they both did $200,000 expenses, and one guy did 100,000 miles, and he tells his buddy, well, our cost per mile is $2. Depends. This guy did 50,000 miles, let's say. Well, his cost per mile is $4 per mile. It's not two, it's double. Because 50,000. Goes to the 200 4 times, $4 per mile. It's double. And if it was, 75,000 miles, right? Then you got $3 per mile. Somewhere in there. Something like that anyway. You can figure it out. Don't take that. Use a calculator. Make one that works. But, there you go. It'd be $4 a mile. That'd be his cost. $2 a mile. Because you're doing more miles. But now cost per day, you know what that is. Every business has a running cost. Doesn't matter what business it is. Could be trucking. Could be a restaurant. Could be a construction worker. Construction business. Doesn't matter what business it is. They all have a cost per day. Every single business. Somebody says, well, I own my truck. You still got a cost per day. It doesn't matter if you don't owe a dime on that truck. You have a cost per day for that business. Do you not? I don't care about Uber Lightning Pay Provost. Doesn't help you. If all you do is run Uber, then that's fine, right? That's fine. But that's another thing. I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket, because if you deliver a couple loads late with Uber, they could cut you right on off, just like Amazon. And they wouldn't care how much freight you hauled for them. You cannot deny with your TMS software and factoring company, you manage your business yourself and store for safety. Something must be working. Also, way less stress. Exactly, right? With Axis TMS and Thunder Funding, and all the other businesses that we network with, 123 Load Board and so forth, and even trucking office, we use them for a long time. and they're still great TMS, but depends on what fits your business at the time. So with Axis and Thunder, personally, I could do 100 trucks myself. And Stoller would be the safety guy, because once you get that many, you need another pair of eyes and everything to run the safety department. But payroll wise, sending the invoices to Thunder Funding, I could do 100. Wouldn't hurt me a bit. Now, use other software where you got to do a lot of data entry and all that stuff. You're going to need 2 or 3 people to do something like that. Chad says, what kind of discounts the fuel card through Thunder? Well, it depends. It's a cost plus program. T.E.N Petrol is kind of like Landstar, if you know the Landstar discounts. It's kind of like that, right? It ranges. I mean, it's been up as much as $1 off. It goes all the way down. It just depends on how the fuel is going and what the range is. Thanks, Provo. Appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you someday. About the Uber deal. You might get a kick out of it. With both beats as prayers for your family and the yuppie. Everybody likes the yuppie. Yeah, I don't know if he got some bad Starbucks or something, but something got him. Jose says, I went back to a funding company. You could resend an updated rate count for lumper in detention. I was spending too much time calling and chasing them to make sure I got paid. Yeah, so like for us, right? So let's say we roll in and Nevada's probably 266. There you go. Nevada wants to come in on 266. I won't say whose calculator I was using when I put that number down. But anyway, that's a good thing, right? Even with underfunding, if you send in a rate con, you send everything invoiced in, right? They pay you, and let's say a week later, you get a new rate con from that broker with $100 in detention and maybe $50 to stop pay, or you paid for the lumper and it was another 200 lumper. All you got to do is just send it back in, right? Send it back in and they'll just rebill it, right? You put rebill, they'll rebill it, and then, you'll get the money. And it's a lot easier doing that than trying to, invoice the broker and things like that and hoping you get your money, because, who knows, someone will get the first initial rate kind of and close the load out and say, oh, well, that's all you're getting. You never know. You never know. Fixed cost everyday variables depending on when you move your truck. Right, Bugatti. That's why I tell everybody, if you do cost per day, the only variable is fuel. You don't include that in there. That's your cost, that you need to make before fuel. So fuel is the only variable cost. So that's what I'm saying. Every business has a fixed cost. So when trucking, your fixed cost is, your truck payment, your insurance. If you have a trailer, your trailer payment, your trailer insurance. And then you could put in there your maintenance, monthly maintenance. There's an average. You put that in there. And then, of course, you put in your house, all your house stuff, all your cars, everything you have to pay out, every single penny. And you divide it by, just be really careful and just say, 20 days. And if you work more than 20, it's a bonus. And if you work a little less, but you outnumbered your cost per day, you might do the whole month in 15 days and you could take 2 weeks off, or you just keep on rolling and keep adding up. Where cost per mile, if you think you need $2 a mile, but that's based on 10,000 miles a month, let's say, and you only get 6,000 miles that month because of things happen. So that's the problem. If you work 2 solid weeks, unless you only get half your miles and your truck breaks, you're bumming. But if you bang it out, which cost per day is easy to do, to bang out way more than you need, even double, even if you had 2 weeks off where the truck had to be repaired, you're usually way more past that covered. Yes, James V. Trucking office is a good TMS for one truck operation. It's still good. I just went for integration. Bugatti says NBA playoffs, Boston versus Nets. He probably likes Boston. More like 76-60. Bugatti are behind the times. Mr. Misunderstood is just telling you what it's like. Yeah, so we're all hoping Dean gets better. He's watching. Dean's watching. So, that's a basic, cost per mile. You can easily figure out at the end of the year. Just take your expenses and divide it by, put your miles in there, divide it by that, and you'll get your cost per mile for that year. It's really simple. But that doesn't mean that's your cost per mile for the next year. Doesn't mean it's the cost per mile for that next month. It'll give you a basis, but then you got to, divide that many miles you ran by 12 months. See what you got to, net that. So that's just way too many variables. Because one, you got to get the load that pays that, and you could probably take a lower load to get you a better area, but you're not going to do it. You're going to sit around and wait a day, 2 days, and when you do that, what happens? That's not your cost per mile no more. Because now you got to add those miles that you missed those days to the next day and so forth. And it's just an easy way of failure. And if you look at a lot of people in trucking and look at all the people that fail. Everybody knows truck drivers that have failed before. Lease purchasing trucks or owning trucks that were paid off and they broke because, they didn't know their cost per mile. They didn't know how to save their money and so forth and so forth. They didn't run it like a business. What's up, Dan? Favorite truck money story. Moving van company made more money selling trucks to drivers than hauling household goods. That's true. I mean, you take some of these companies that, do the lease purchase. That's how they're making money. They're there to make money. Let's face it, folks. Let's take a lease purchase. And who do they go after? They go after the folks that don't have no money for down payment, because if you had no money for down payment and you had credit, you wouldn't need them. You wouldn't have to pay their high interest rates, right? You wouldn't need them. You'd go to a regular bank. You just go to Volvo Financing or somewhere, right? You Daimler Chrysler and so forth. Freightliner, right? You just go to these places and you get your own. So here you go. Let's take an average lease purchase truck. Brand new ones, they're going for $1,500 a month. That's your maintenance fee, your insurance, and all that come up $1,500 a month. And you times that by 4.33, and that gives you your real month average. Or it's $1,500 a week. $1,500 a week. They're doing $1,500 a week. So you times it by 4.33 to get your month. So Nevada's going to give us the right answer because he's got his calculator out. So Nevada, go ahead and put your $1,500 a week times 4.33. What do you get? It's close to 6,500, but 6,495. So round it up, 6,500 a month. No truck costs you $6,500 a month if you go buy one. $6,495. Yeah, no truck costs you that if you go buy it. You go get, let's not look at the prices today. Let's go back to, before all this inflated garbage. You go buy the brand new Volvo. Let's say it's $165,000, $170,000. Let's say you're paying $3,300. It's pretty much half. That's what they're getting you, right? They're making a ton of money. Full maintenance lease that rents you truck to use while being fixed, 3 months. Yeah, if you get a full maintenance lease, that's a different beast. That's a whole different beast. And if you're lucky enough to get one, it's way better than a lease purchase. And depending on what you get it for, it's better than if you do 5-year buy on one. Because at the end of the story, at the end of the year, right into that 5 years, that truck's not worth anything in the real world. Nowadays, it's, worth $9 million. But, in the real world, 5-year-old truck, 40, 50,000. But, we're not in real times right now. Now I need to plug for a good rental. I just got me another rental trailer. I sold an old truck and paid off the trailer. There you go, Jason. The only negative things about Thunder Funding is they don't factor brokers yet. That's true. They're working on it, but you don't need that. You don't need that because here's the thing. If you're a trucking company and a brokerage, why do you need that? You don't. And if you have your customer and you tell your customer, if you bid on that freight from that customer and you have a 14-day pay or 15 or even a 30-day pay, why do you got to factor that brokerage? Because we all know that most of the places will do a 60-day, right? Most funding companies won't go after brokers unless they go past the 60th day. Right, Canadian Freight Broker? He's in here. Most of them won't. They won't sit there and say they're going to go after your credit or put anything on your report, like over here, noteworthy issues, unless you go past the 60th day. So most of your customers are going to pay you in the 30 days. Then you just go ahead and pay the trucking company or the factoring company. So it's a little bit different, beast there. So I wouldn't need to use it because I would just do that. And then once they do get it off and running, then I would use them. But there again, if you have two different companies and they're corporations, you could use a different one for that if you really wanted to. But if you're a trucking company and that's your main bread and butter, then you don't go get in bed with a factoring company that says, "Oh, well, we do both," but they're not good for trucking because they don't know anything about trucking. I'm going to put all my stuff where the people know about trucking because that's the main core of the business. The brokerage is just a plus. Direct freight out of your own hometown, broker on return. Yeah, you can do direct freight out of your own hometown. You go find, your small mom and pop shipping places and stuff and introduce yourself, give them a business card, give them a rate, tell them, you'll give them exceptional service. The only problem with direct freight is you can't tell them no too many times or else they won't bother calling you. Canadian Freight Broker says, correct, Jeff, about brokers pay past 60 days. So there's a difference there, right? There's a difference there. In the trucking company, why, think about it, you go past 30, you're getting antsy at 40. Most of your customers are going to pay, right, Canadian Freight Broker? Most of your customers are going to pay you, your shippers and stuff. They're going to pay you within that time frame. And if they don't, how good is that customer? Just saying. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so today I got a call Well, I got an email first that said, "Hey, we have another trailer. You want it?" So I emailed it back. Said, "Yep, I'll take it." So I called him up. He says, "When are you gonna pick it up?" I said, "I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. Just charge me and let it sit there in the lot." It's okay, no problem. We get another one, we'll call you. It's great having great business partners. Done business with them for a long time now, and I know they have other customers, but for some reason, because we pay our bills on time and we keep their equipment in good check, and if something's wrong with it, I'll pay to fix it. And sometimes I don't even send them the bill, or I'll send a bill and say, "Don't worry about it. We got it covered." And they take care of us. Pro tip: if your carrier is going to direct customers, you need a tool run. You need a tool to run the shipper's credit, determine if you want to work with them. Exactly. So it's like Thunder Funding, right? That's my tool. It's a funding company. So I can call them up and say, "Hey, we want this direct shipper," because we've had some direct shippers already. And here's the thing, because we have some folks that live up in Idaho, and they found a direct shipper that uses them quite a bit. And they say, "Yeah, we'll fund them." And they'll give them a credit limit, and determining how fast they pay. And once they pay on time like they're supposed to, the credit limit gets raised way up there, so we don't have to worry about it. They can just keep booking loads of them. So that's that part of it. We went over a little bit about factoring and why people get messed up on the fee. Oh, I'll just use my own, or I don't do that because I just use QuickPay. QuickPay's the same thing. Well, there you go, Team Tiny. It says they have a link to plug in the MC and request a limit, and they tell you right away. Right. Then they should. They should. However, a busy freight brokerage requires a large credit line. If you do not factor customers' freight, a good broker can book $1 million a year. That's $80 to $90K a month you're waiting on. Exactly. Canadian freight broker. So as it goes on, that's what happens, right? So like I said, Thunder Funding, they have the module in place. They just haven't implemented it yet. Because, one of the owners there was in a big brokerage firm. So they know the business. They just doing their own software to, before they roll it out. I learned this after I ran a load to Oregon company that they wouldn't factor $1,950 load. Yeah, don't you hate that, Team Tiny, when that happens? I mean, I've done that before, right? I've taken loads and told the contractor, "Yeah, go ahead and run it, and if it's not factorable, I'll bill it, and we'll just cross our fingers." But luckily they paid, right? Luckily they paid. And then they said, "Well, don't use those guys again." So, because I give my contractors a lot of authority and responsibility, because I treat them like they're my business partner. That's how I treat them. So they have access to this credit check, Thunder Funding's credit check website they use. Everybody has access to that. They go in there, they look it up, and if it's not in there, then they call. Any one of them can call Thunder Funding and ask them, say, "I'm with Light Trucking, and here's this broker. Could you check the credit?" And they say yes, or they'll say how much, and they'll say, "Yeah, it's good to go. You can run it." And I'll put the rate cons in and stuff, and then every once in a while I'll ask, "Hey, did you run that?" "Oh no, I forgot." So then I'll run it. So wait, got a call. It's in the yellow under review. But a lot of times I don't even have to call because I look at this right here. If you have something like this and you look at this, and Canadian Freight Broker, you'll agree. If you come up here and it says approved, but let's say this was in yellow and said review required. If I go down here and see a couple 40s or maybe a 50, but all 30s, that's probably why it went in yellow. But if you go down here and you see how much money it balanced on the books, they're going to factor them every time. Now, if this number was $5,000 or $1,000, then they're going to sit there and go, I don't know. But as you can see, 1 to 15 days, here's their balance on the books and so forth. When you get all the way out here, 15,000, 61 to 75 days, that's not a whole lot on 2 million, right? That's not a whole lot. But if you got a broker that's only 15,000 balance in 1 to 15 days is, like a 0 and a 0 and a 0, and it's out here big 7 or 8,000, that's a no-go. So I wouldn't even have to call them. I could just look at this balance sheet and say, yep, that's a go. So after you've been doing it for years, you can just go down here and look. I can say, I can just look at this chart here and go down and look at this balance sheet right here and go, yes or no. And I can figure it out just by looking at that. So yeah, that's probably a go. So this is good to have. Now, people look up, and what you got to watch out for is this big conglomerate brokers like Hub Group, right? So if you go in here and you put in Hub Group, you're going to get all kinds of stuff unless they fixed it. You're going to get all kinds of stuff. So you see all these Hub Groups? Boom, boom, boom. See, back in the day, Hub Group basically was billing all by their individual locations. So like California, Tennessee, all these are going to have different ratings. But now Hub Group corporate pays everything. So it's like pulling Schneider or anybody else, XPO or TICO, you're going to get your money, right? This could say red, right? So if you pulled up one of these and it was red, saying denied, they're really not denied. See how this says denied? They're really not denied. This satellite agent's denied, but Hub Group now pays for everybody's stuff. It goes to the main office, so it's not denied. But this does say that. Because see, this is only 29 balance here, and it's got all kinds of stuff over here, but now the main office pays everything. So this you wouldn't worry about that right there. So that's things you got to look for. And you got to watch out for it. If you haven't been in the business long enough, you don't know those ins and outs or those tricks of the trade. There's certain big conglomerates that have satellite agencies all over the country, and then some of those weren't paying on time and things like that, and then it caused all this. So now the parent company now just does it all. So because I had a contract, I was going to do Hub Group, but they're nice. No, Hub Group's good. Go ahead and haul it. You don't have to call. If you see that right there, don't worry about it. Just haul it. Can you plug in an MC number? Sure, we can plug in an MC number, Team Tiny. What you got? Give me the number. If anybody gets the number Team Tiny puts up there, Team Tiny will pay you. He'll gladly pay you $100. $100. Team Tiny will pay $100 if you can guess the MC number before he writes it. They're not going to guess it, Team Tiny. It'd be impossible. It'd be like winning the lottery, right? Anybody playing the Powerball? What's that at? 400 something million? I don't know. Yeah, give me the MC number, Team Tiny. Just give me one. Team Tiny, you got an MC number? All right, I'll just plug in one. This one right here. 952349. I don't even know who it is. We'll just put it in there. That's immediate shit. So you click, if it was the name of the broker, you see, there they are. You click on it, and then you can do DOT number too, phone numbers, But if you put the MC number in, you get the exact person, right? If you scroll down, you'll see they're at a 95 or so, and you see all those days of pay. And you come down here, you see the money on there, so they're going to be green. There you go. You just plug in MC numbers, and it'll give you the credit. And it'll give you all this good stuff down here, all the juicy stuff. They've only got one no buy complaint, and that was 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. Everything else is good. So, they're good to go. 054283, what's that, your MC number? If it's your MC number, nothing's going to come up. Told you. Now, if I put my broker's number in there, it'll come up. I gave MC number to the guy. He says too short when I got only 6 digits. What's up, Eddie Droder? What's up, my friend? He's saying hi to the Tiny. Hope all is good with you and your family. Yeah, well, we got some things going on. We got some hospital trips there and things like that. And I'm just watching the text messages in case I got to roll. That's Swift. That ain't Swift. It didn't come up. Here, let's take the 0 out. Let's search it without the 0. No. Swift. Isn't it called Night Swift now? Isn't it Night Swift? Swift Transportation. MC. Swift Logistics. Phoenix. Oh, that was the DOT number? Well, we could do it by the DOT number. It's right here, 05283, right there, or 54283. So it's this one right here, out of Arizona. So we'll go back there and we'll put the DOT number in there, 54283. Swift Transportation right there. Bum, 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 as we wait. Bango. Denied. And that's, why? That's because that doesn't really exist anymore. It's really Night-Swift Logistics. So it's a different one they go under. Eddie's MC 1035855. What's that, your MC number, Eddie? Oh, there's Eddie right there. It says, not a verified debtor. Do you want to verify the debtor for you? Review required. Insufficient data. Eddie, you're doing good, man. You have no complaints, no slow pays, no buys, all that good stuff. There you go, Eddie. There you go. Here, we'll put Eddie up in there. There's Eddie's. Oh, we won't give your address. You got a bunch of empty charts. What do you think of a Waffle House at a truck stop? Well, it's okay. I mean, it's a Waffle House. Is it good food for truck drivers? No, but we all eat it. It's all grease, right? It's all grease. Scattered, splattered, covered, smothered, top, diced, chunked, all that good stuff they like to talk about. In your opinion, what's up, Eugene? Glad you could join us. Cost of equipment. Cost of equipment will look like what dollar amount? Because I don't believe the cost will be the same as before COVID. New world we're living in now. Yeah, it depends, man. It depends. For example, I got a price for metal roofing, right? Just to get metal roofing and for them to put it on the roof, they gave me a price. I said, "You're out of your mind. I'll call somebody else." They were close to the same price. Anybody want to take a guess? And the guys that I've talked to don't put the number up there because it's not fair. Anybody want to take a guess on how much it costs if I want to put a metal roof on the roof? I'll give a few. I'll let some people put on there. I'll tell you what they told me. Told them they're out of their flipping mind. Light Bright says 60,000. What's that he say? Nice. Let's get them filled with some. Yeah, let's get some info in there. Eugene Waller says 7K. Justin Johnson will tell you it'd be 9,000 square. I would need 9,000 square of the material for the roof. 9,000 square. Is that any different than the shipper tells either the broker or carrier that the rates are way too high? Yeah, well, shippers, same thing. They want it for cheap. Freightliner started by company thought trucks too expensive, 60K. Jerome Jones says 10K. Justin says 25K. Okay, you got all you guys holding on to your to the steering wheel. I don't want you to go off the road now. So here I'll put on a whiteboard for you. All right, so here we go. We'll play a little game. We'll play. Price is Right. Price is Right. Got the three strikes, right? We're gonna do like the car, right? You're gonna do like the car. What do you think the first number is? What's the first number? And if people are in here that I know the price, I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to take your numbers either. Acceleration rules? No, you didn't get it either. Two. Team Tiny's right. The first number is a 1. First number is 1. Team Tiny. Boom. He doesn't lose nothing. He doesn't even get a strike. Team Tiny's good at this game. You better go on the Price is Right. Second number. Second number. 2. Second number. 4. No, you're incorrect. You got a strike. Sorry, Jason. You got a strike. Team Tiny says 7. Yeah, that is the second number. Let's go for a third, Team Tiny. Team Tiny must be, he's got my house bugged. He's got my phone bugged. Third number, Team Tiny. Let's go. Nobody's got it right yet. 2, 3, 5, 7. Nope, Team Tiny. That's a strike. He didn't get it. I'll give it to you. Here's a hint. It's 0. What's the next number? All right, Paul, I'll take that. Next number is a 0. What's the next number? What do you think the next number is? All right. Light bright, you're right. Right on the money. $170,000 to put some sheet metal or some roofing, right? Some metal roofing on the house. Unbelievable. I told them they're out of their mind. They're crazy. They're crazy. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. Boom. I couldn't say it any better. WTH. Yeah. Now, Team Tiny, if we want to do get the metal look, right? If we want to do the metal around the house, then the total number goes to $250,000 just to have some metal put on a house. Unbelievable. Oh, we got somebody joining in. Who's it? Oh, it's the Zen of the Nordio. What's going on?
How's it going?
We were doing a little bit of underfunding stuff there. We're doing a bit about factoring and what you could take your money and use it for if you invest it instead of trying to do it yourself or paying somebody. Because I didn't even put that in there. If you had to pay somebody to do it, then you're saving money to factor. It's actually paying you to do it. And we didn't get into that because that could go over some people's heads, Steve. That if you factor, you could actually be making money on factoring. Can you wrap your head around that?
No.
Once you build a company up so high, you could actually make money on factoring.
Well, look, experience talks, right?
Yeah.
You started factoring from day one, and look where you're at now. So results speak, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could actually make money because I didn't even go over that. But if I wasn't factoring, I'd have to hire somebody, right? I'd have to hire somebody to do it, which means you got to pay them a wage, correct?
Yep.
Right. So let's say you pay somebody $30,000 a year, 40, 50. What's that office person going to charge you? Today's world, what, $20 an hour?
Right.
Maybe.
Yep.
$800 a week, so $40,000. So, if you were factoring, let's say $300K a month, we'll just use 2%, make it easy. That's $6K a month. That's $72,000 a year. And if you're paying somebody $40,000, then it's costing you only $32,000 that you're factoring. But if you take your $300K instead of factoring, now that's all your money and you invest it, and even if you get a nice return, let's say 10%, you got $30K. So now it's only costing you $2,000 to the difference than if you hired somebody. But then what if that person calls in sick and can't come to work? And so forth and so forth. They quit on you. And not only that, you're waiting for your money now, right? You're waiting. So what happens if you get one place that doesn't pay or two places don't pay you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for 5 years, and even when I'm booking stuff for, like one of the carriers that I booked for, they're Thunder Funny, and it's real easy to look up the credit and it's either yay or nay. You know,
Read this, Steve. I was talking about how much it costs to put metal siding on the house and the roof, right? It'd be $250,000. It says, buy a new house. No, because a new house would cost more than that.
yeah. Just like equipment, now's not the time to be buying a house or buying equipment, that's for sure, or materials. So,
Yeah, a new house would cost. Well, you got to have the same square footage, right? I mean, apples to apples. So if you're going to put that metal and stuff and do let's say a new build on the square footage here, you're probably talking probably that 1.25 million. That's what it would cost if I built this house in today's world.
Jeff, just get a double wide. God.
So I'm not, that wouldn't be good there.
Get a double wide and one of them big tents that you can park the RV under.
Yeah, a portable one, right? Because you could just take the tent down and take it with you. Then you put it up, and now you have a garage. Yeah, MT Fuel Corp. What's up, Bobby? My buddy, where you been? He's been too busy, man, fighting fires and delivering fuel and all that good stuff. Here's Jason. I thought you were building a new house. Well, yeah, that too, Jason. I'm also building a shop. That too. Maybe if you could find someone to do the work. But I did have one of our contractors, Steve, it's over here. He said, "Look, I got a buddy that is a carpenter, is retired, knows how to do that stuff. Call him, find out what he'll charge, save you a lot of money. Maybe we'll just bring the camper up, park it on the property, and help do that."
That'd be good.
That'd be good.
You'd have more control than if a contractor, like a building contractor,
Right, where just a couple of friends come up, park the RVs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just takes time to do anything in today's world. In the COVID world, no one wants to do nothing, and it's hard to find somebody because everybody's busy. Everyone's busy.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think that to kind of change gears here for a little bit. A lot of the stuff the information that you put out, I think it goes over a lot of people's heads because there's a lot of people in this industry that are struggling and they don't know why, even though the information's out there. And I think a lot of it's mindset. I talked to a guy today that I could see why he's struggling. And more about that later privately. It's nobody Jeff, but
well, in this industry, Steve,
yeah,
you're dispatching now, right? In you're really learning because it's easy when you dispatch yourself,
right?
But you'll find out, and you're finding out that when you're running a dispatch service, and you get a guy that has way too many parameters, there's a reason why they're failing. Because in this business, you can't have that many parameters, right? Like, I don't want to run more than 300 miles a day. I don't want to go to this area or that area or this. I just want to stay in this one little circle. And, even if the rates are bad, I just want to still stay in this circle. And, I don't want to run past 8 o'clock at night, but then I want to, get up any earlier than 7 in the morning and run. And, they don't want to run if it's raining out.
Well, it's like I can understand preferences, because I'm that way. I have my parameters, but when the market starts to, everything all right? You there? You got to go?
No, I have to do something real quick.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and talk, Steve, I guess.
But sometimes you got to go outside of the box, when the market struggles, like if you're in a low volume place or if the rates are coming down a little bit, sometimes you got to do the stuff that you normally wouldn't do. And I think that, it's okay to have parameters, but when, no, we're not talking about you, Cool Trucking. We're talking about somebody I talked to today. The parameters are good. I can understand it, but sometimes you got to go beyond, your own rules to be able
your comfort zone.
Huh?
You got to go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? Because Steve, we know HR for a long time, right? And you were stuck in your comfort zone for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm guilty of that.
And then when you moved out of your comfort zone, you made quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
When the times, meant for it, right? But in your area, it's got to get pretty bad before you need to move out of your comfort zone, because you're in a good area.
Yeah. But no, Cool Trucking, we're not talking about you. I'm talking about somebody I talked to. I can talk to you later about it, but it's just, a lot of people entering being an owner operator, there's, and I was guilty of this too when I started. I didn't do all the research. I didn't listen to the right channels, and luckily I made it through, and I've learned. But it's about mindset that gets you through the hard times. You can have the best business plan and the best income, but if you don't have the right mindset, it all becomes a waste. And you can start with nothing and be at a complete disadvantage and have the right mindset and you make it. And I think that's the difference. Remember Schneider? You had all these Schneider finance trucks, same truck, same trailer, lived in the same area, same platform, same load board. But, you talk to one guy and he was like, oh, I love it here. I'm making killer money. And then the other guy is like, I hate it here. Schneider screws up everything, And what's the difference? The same, they got same everything across the board except for mindset. Right. And I think that needs to be focused on,
And that's like me, right? I was at Schneider, lived right here, and people that lived here were, always complaining there's no freight around now. There's no freight around here. There's plenty of freight. You just had to have the mindset and the knowledge of, doing your homework and knowing when those loads come out and be there and snag them up. And they never knew those loads existed.
And when I talk to a driver that's unwilling to go out of his comfort zone, I tell him, look, I get it. I was there, been there, done that. And, and if you've got a certain goal that you got to make per week, sometimes you got to go beyond, what you normally do. And so, I just want to put that out there because that's what I've been struggling with today, with what I'm seeing across the board, on social media and on people that I've talked to. So,
right. And that's,
Shannon's going to make it. I think.
Shannon's going to make it. Shannon's going to make it for a couple reasons. One, she's going to get her truck done so she can come over here. And then she's going to run this good area. And if she needs help, of course, we'll help her.
Well, and that's the other thing. They got to be willing to take advice, take direction.
Well, I don't know if Shannon can take advice, so I don't know. She might not want to take advice. I better not say nothing. I'll get myself in trouble. She lives right down over there.
Right.
You know, I could get myself in trouble. I still got the hat, but I don't know. Shannon, if I mail you the hat, will it just be sitting outside the door, or, you know, or you got a big enough mailbox? Or is there somebody there to get the package for you?
Well, you know, you don't want to mess with Michigan people. They're wackadoo. Michigan people. Man.
Hey, let me tell you something. Missouri has half the letters, so don't even go there.
Half the letters. Oh man. I once had to do a physical when I was in Maine. And we probably, between me, the physician, and the lady at the desk, and somebody else, we had to sort out all the M state abbreviations: MO, ME, MA, MI, MS. It was amazing how many people didn't like it, you know.
Look, I'm getting threatened.
You should be threatened.
Look.
There you go.
Getting threatened.
No.
Well, sitting right there. I had to fight off one of the grandkids. They were going to wear it. I said, no, that's a brand new hat. You can't wear that one. That belongs to somebody.
I don't blame you for not wanting to mail it. Mailing's expensive.
Then they took my skidoo hat. Well, I could go over and, you know, if somebody was at her house, so I could go over there and, you know, put it inside the door or something, or in the mailbox myself. But then I wouldn't want to get, you know, a dog or something come out and take care of business. You know what I'm saying? Or the security alarms go off because you step foot in someone's yard. Mine go off all the time, all night long, because the farm across the road, they got all kinds of barn cats. And they always want to come over here, trying to get in the back door.
Well, speaking from experience, cats love to go in and out of doors.
I think I need to hire Snowler to dispatch me so I can pay off the truck faster. Don't be loaning out my hat. Yeah, Snowlord, there you go. I mean, Snowlord's getting so many people now, he's going to have to increase his hours. He won't be sleeping at night.
Sleep's overrated. You don't need sleep.
My buddy Paul McFarland, what's Paul saying? You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to stay in business. Jeff has talked about being willing to sacrifice. People don't know what it really means until things get really hard. You want me to, can I say something, Paul? Can I use you an example, Paul? I'll ask for permission first. I don't want to make Paul mad. Paul's a tall guy, man. You ever seen Paul?
Yeah,
he's like 6'7". He's 6'7", huge bodybuilder. I mean, he's got like Hulk Hogan arms. You don't want to mess with him. Now, Cool Trucking, he is an old dog. And all he wants to learn is how to trade in the on the bots, the trading bots. MT Fuel Corp says sleep is for poor people. Schneider saved my business 1997 to 2002. So, for instance, if you live in a certain area of the country and you had your circle going, right? You had your little triangle and you were making lots of money and the freight started drying up. See, a lot of people would just stay there, and it keeps drying up, and they'd go further and further in the hole, right? To where when it starts drying up, what you need to do is go to a better, do your homework and search around the country and find a good area. Go run that area for a while, and then go back home. But the whole time you're running that area, keep looking back at your home area and keep doing daily searches. Say, okay, it's picking back up. I'll go back home and run my own area again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But some people won't do that. And then you got to look at deadhead. I still have today, people say, well, I'm not deadhead more than 50 miles to get a load. Well, you're going to lose out a lot of money.
Yeah. You look, I have a buddy of mine that did food grade tanker for a company in northern Missouri, and their contracts were so good that and so important that they would pick up a load out of Missouri and deliver it in California, and they would deadhead them back.
Really?
That's how good that money is over there in food grain take. Now, every now and then they deadhead them to Dallas, and then that would be his load back in Missouri. But for the most part, it was more important to deal with those contracts, and they paid well enough that if they could deadhead back, they would. So,
see, stocks are doing well today, Steve. Stocks are doing great.
I doubt it. Where's my?
I sold my tanker stock the other day at $3.17. It got all the way back down to $2.44. I rebought it at $2.44. Now it's back to $2.56. But of course, my Bitcoin I bought, that's soaring. Bitcoin's soaring back over 40,000. So yeah, stocks are doing great. I'm up $900 in the after hours. Cool Trucking, I'm up $900 in the after hours. I don't know what my bots are doing. Let me see what my bots are doing. Cool Trucking likes to hear about crypto bots. Probably losing in crypto bots, but let's see. And don't talk about SHIB. We all know that's a dead crypto. Let's see what my bots are doing. My Dogecoin bot's probably doing the best of all of them. Here we go.
What's your opinion on Elon Musk buying Twitter?
I love it. I love it, especially if he reopens up those closed accounts. That's great. Because you should. Isn't it supposed to be freedom of speech in this country? In opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Why should you shut someone down for their opinion?
I agree. Free speech goes both ways, right?
Yeah. Teach Steve more about those bots. Look, Steve doesn't want to learn about the bots because he's had 2 animal coins that he had purchased, and he's lost everything. He can't even go shoot his guns anymore. He's lost everything. Now, what did you lose? About $38? You down 50 now?
If I total all my crypto, I'm down like $100.
Oh, 100. Is that it? Yeah, I better not total my crypto. We'll just leave that alone. We'll just leave that one alone. I went back to stocks. I've been killing it in the stock market. I only do a couple cryptos now. Bitcoin's one of them. People say, well, that's a lot. Yeah, but Bitcoin, it hovers around that 40,000. It gets just below there. I snag it up.
Well, there was a bunch of people out there saying that once Robinhood could do SHIB, that it was going to go to the moon.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question, Snowlord. Ask you a question.
That was a bunch of bull crap.
Didn't Robinhood get SHIB like a couple weeks ago? And what has SHIB done?
Nothing. Nada.
It went down. Look.
Zilch.
Look, here. Yeah. I'm going to give, here, Snowlord, this is the deal. YouTube hype, right? SHIB. I had it down here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 zeros and a 1, 4, 5. I had a bunch of it down here, right? It went all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 something, right? And somewhere in the 5s you probably bought, did you not?
I don't remember.
Because most people were talking about it back up here in the 5s. So you bought, and here's the little chart. And then it went and now it's leveled out here at about 0.000245 or somewhere around there. There's your SHIB rocket. And here, right here, stolen right here, right there, this is where Robinhood, the big bump up, guess what they got? A flat line. That thing's flatlining. $50 got me 11,246. That's John.
Well, according to Coinbase, SHIB is up 5.26%.
Yeah, to what? 0.24 or 25?
0.000024.
Yeah, it's up 5% because it dropped 20%, and it was down to about 0.0023 something, and it went up to 2.4. Which, you know what it means? If you bought it down at 2.3 on Robinhood, and it's at 2.4, if you sold it, you'd make $0 on it. You know why? Because of the basis points that buys and sells at for the transaction fee. That SHIB would have to go up into 0.00026 to make money on your 2.3.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Nothing. Dogecoin was up, he says. 25% today on
Dogecoin
Elon Musk. Yeah. I told you, my Nordic tank lines went up. I didn't get my options this time. I was trying to be a little greedy and get it for 30 cents a contract. And I put in there to get 20,000 contracts. And it didn't give them to me. It stayed at 35 cents a contract. I put in for 30. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. But I did buy the stock too anyway though. And it's up 12 cents. So I'm up some nice money on the 12-cent game.
Good.
Tomorrow I hope it goes up 20 more cents right off the bat, and then I'll sell. They're artificially holding SHIB down. If they let it go, it would make too many millionaires. What do they got? They got like little lead booties. They got little cement booties on that dog. Snorlord, they got little cement booties on them to keep them down. Are you gonna bet the farm, Snorlord, that SHIB's gonna soar one of these days?
No, Jason's comment. Hell, I'm losing on all my stuff. The only thing I'm not losing on is my silver stock.
Hey, Jason's down almost threefold what you're down. He's down $283 on SHIB.
Well, I feel you, Jason.
You know how much I'm down on SHIB? 0.
I know.
My portfolio is down like 1,800 on SHIB, but that was all bought with profit. So I don't care if it goes down to 0. Might sure I lose all that money, but my money's done out of that.
I haven't had a chance to be able to do that. The minute I went in, it was like
because you got in too late. You were going in on the hype. You helped it go up a little bit so they could all get out.
Yeah.
And you're holding the bag.
That's exactly what happened.
Now, if you're smart, Snorlord, look, how much money did you invest? 200? 300?
Huh?
How much money did you put in SHIB? Yeah.
Just 100.
You can't lose 100 because it ain't a 0.
Well, that was all my SHIB. SHIB specifically, I put $100 in. But
okay, so what you need to do, Look at your thing and see what you put it. What was SHIB at when you bought it?
I don't know.
Look at your buy on your portfolio. What'd you use to buy SHIB? Webull or something?
Coinbase.
Coinbase. Them people have high fees, man. But anyway, Coinbase. What's your average buy on SHIB? So that's what you should do. You should take another $100 and buy it now, so you cost average down. Or take 200, and then you'd be almost in the money.
Where does it say where I bought?
It should say in your transaction history. Well, how much is it in Coinbase? What's your $100 worth today?
It is $31.65.
Okay, so you've lost about $70.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say you probably bought it around 0.005. It'd probably be somewhere around 0.005. So it says tap on it, Steve.
It says I've lost 68.35.
I'll go to Coinbase too, and I'll look and see how you do it.
View details.
Yeah, view details. Should tell you. Did you see it?
I got that.
All right, let me go into Coinbase. Towards the bottom says Justin Johnson. Justin's a smart guy. He'll tell you where it's at. If I look at my assets here in Coinbase. Okay, if I click on SHIB, go down to the bottom. Let me click on SHIB. All right. History. It should say you history. When you click on it, it should give you history down towards the bottom. It should tell you.
I've got that graph where it shows when I bought in, it was $96, $96.82.
If you click on where you bought it, it should give you a price. And give you what you bought it at. Like here, price per coin on mine was 0.0000030 on one of my transactions. If you click on the SHIB, it should tell you. It should tell you when you bought it, how much your fee was, all that good stuff. You see that?
No.
Hold your phone up.
Hold on.
You click on it itself, where it says SHIB, when you clicked on it, you should go down and scroll and hit SHIB again. And it should give you your stuff.
Okay, here we go. Bought Shiba Inu. It shows that. It's probably can't even focus on.
Well, what does it tell you? Does it give you a price? 0.000. If not, click on that big long part. Click on it again. It should bring up your transaction.
Okay. 0.00074.
Okay, now here's what you need to do. Right, you're at 7.4. It's at 2.24. Right. So if you want to try to make money on it, my opinion would be you put 100 in it, buy 200 at the lower level at 2.0024, and that'll take your average all the way down to probably somewhere around 0.003 something, 0.004. So you got less for it to rise to get back in the money. And since it's so cheap, you could probably triple down, put $300 on it at this lower level, and then your average coin would be probably somewhere in the 3s instead of being up there in 7s. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, for instance, let's say I bought Nordic Tank Lines at $3 a share, and I
Right.
bought 1,000 shares, right, for $300. It goes down to $2. So I say, okay, I'm down, right? Let's say I bought 1,000 shares at $3. I'd be down $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I buy another 1,000 shares at $2. Now my cost average, I'm at $2.50 a share for all those shares. I don't have nothing at $3 no more. So if I bought double down there, I'm down to like 2.25. Then all it has to do is go up a little bit, and I'm in the money.
Well, I've kind of done that, but then it just goes even lower. So
well,
now
you can keep buying. Steve lost totally. Steve's totally not interested. Look at that. Oh, John. Now, if we were talking weapons, right? If we were talking weapons, Steve would be totally interested. If he said, man, I bought this SIG and it was, $600, man, and that thing went down to $400. Go buy 2 more, and now your cost average down to $400. Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. He'd be all into that. It's like ammo. Man, ammo is expensive. I paid this much. Then when it's cheap, you load up. Well, guess what? You didn't pay that much anymore for it. Now your cost of bullet's not $1. It's down to 75 cents or 50 cents.
Oh, see, that I understand.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I just bought 10 boxes of here, I'll show them.
Yeah, 9mm. What'd you get, Luger?
I bought 10 boxes of that for $16 a box after shipping.
Right, but before it was $32 a box.
Well, just a month ago when we were at the store, they were $22, and then 2 years ago that was like $30.
Okay, so let's say there were 22. If you bought 10 boxes at 16, let's say you bought 10 boxes at 22. Now you buy 10 boxes at 16. Now each bullet only costs you 19 cents.
So by adding the others, it lowers.
Right, it lowers
each box. Okay.
Yeah. So you just gotta get on the shib dog, man, and keep buying when it's way low and get that price down.
My days of trusting YouTubers and crypto are done.
Well, I'll give you.
I'm not blaming the YouTuber. I don't want to be one of those guys.
My opinion, if you want a stock that is really good, that trades in a nice range, NAT. That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion. NAT. Like I said, I sold it yesterday. All my shares at $3.17 because I knew it was going to go down because it passed the $3 mark. And next day, boom, down. Next day, boom, down. We got all the way down to 244 somewhere there today. I rebought everything back at 244, and now in the after hours, it's at 256. Because it's and if it gets a nice bump tomorrow, I'll be right back out of it again until it gets below 250. Whole coiner and Bitcoin. There you go.
I got Bitcoin. I've lost money on that one too.
I got Robinhood Bitcoin. I'm up on it right now. Let me see what I got. Don't ask me about Ethereum. I don't even want to talk about that. Bitcoin. I'm up 82 right now. 80. But see, there you go.
If I had to go back in time and redo something, there's 2 things I would do. Number 1, I would have taken some kind of mechanics class in vocational school. And number 2, I would have learned more about investing straight out of high school.
When I was at high school, we had a we did stock market investment. What do you want to call it? Class, and not a class, but a project, right?
Right.
The teacher was heavy into stock market back then, so we had like a 1 month deal. He taught us all about trading, and we had like a mock thing. He gave us, like X amount of dollars, and we had to write down what we bought and stuff, turn it in, and then if we were buying and selling, and then at the end of the month we'd see what we were up or down.
Yeah,
it was a cool class.
I had a class in high school. It was called Consumer Personal Math, and we went over that stuff, but it was pretty cool. Jerome Jones has a good question.
I probably won't have an answer. Question about getting out of your comfort zone. Now I do power only in the Midwest area and try to be home on the weekend. Does that mean I have to give up trying to be home on the weekend and stay out? No, that's not what that means. But if you do live in an area where it's better to go out for, let's say, 2 weeks and then go home for a week, or 4 or 5, 6 days in a row, so you get better home time, that's an option. Because personally, I was home every weekend, and it becomes more like a job, right? Because you get home late Friday or Saturday, and you're like, oh, I got to leave out Monday morning, or so. It's like a job, right? To where if you went out for, let's say, when I went out and stayed out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever. Sometimes I stayed out 3 months, didn't matter. But let's say I went out and stayed out 2 weeks. Well, when I went home, I stayed home like a week because you got all those days, and it was better home time because you were more relaxed. You could go out and do things. You didn't have to worry about got to mow the lawn, got to do this, but now I got to go back to work.
Yeah, there's a method, and this is why a lot of the mega carriers have weekly payments, because it's harder to do that. But if you get all your costs and expenses out of the way early in the month, then you can take the rest of the month off, just like what Jeff is talking about. But the other thing is, what kind of power only are you doing, Jerome? Are you doing like JB Hunt drop and hook, or are you doing like a loadout trailer that you acquire for 2 weeks? And then you can run however you want using that trailer. I mean, so that's a big part of it as well. So if you're running the Midwest, Steiner and JP Hunt have a lot of freight in the area. But if you're running like Pacific Northwest, you're probably better off with a loadout trailer that gets picked up in the Midwest and needs to be delivered to Salt Lake, by the end of the month or something like that. So.
Okay, so Alan Campbell's on Facebook. Trucking Office. If you want a great program, like we said earlier, Trucking Office has a great program. Check out Alan's stuff, truckingoffice.com. So he's got a question here. It says, does that cost averaging work with freight? Just run more cheap freight until the price comes up. Well, the problem is what's cheap freight? Mm-hmm. There really is no such thing as cheap freight. Because, we all went over this all the time, right? That's a big nail in coffins, right? Is cheap freight.
Right.
What is it? I personally might be able to run for, let's say, $1.20 a mile, and Steve might be able to run for $1.80. And he says, well, how can you run $1.50? That's cheap freight, because you couldn't make your bills. To where I might say, well, $1.50 is awesome freight, or $2.50 or $3 or whatever. It's all about business, right? How streamlined are you in your business? Because it's the same thing with restaurants, right? Steve, you were looking to wanting to buy a restaurant or do restaurant, right?
Not anymore.
Right, but you could take two restaurants across from each other, and one goes out of business and the other don't. If they have the same prices and everything, or one has cheaper prices, the other guy has more expensive, but he goes out of business.
Right.
His costs are different, or something's wrong.
Well, where volume helps is like if you only run 15 days a month or 1,000 miles a week, your fixed cost is going to be higher per unit, per day, per mile, versus if you ran 25 days a month or 2,500 miles a week. Your fixed cost goes down. So, your fuel is your variable cost, and that's the thing for every missed day. So like if you do your business plan around 20 days a month and you are able to do 25 days, that'll help make up for the months that you might only do 15 because the truck was down. And so I think Alan was joking a little bit, but at the same time, it actually, sometimes, it's kind of like, you go by the cost per day to help, when times get lean, so you're not concentrating on that rate per mile. So, I could sit there and say, well, this load paid me $10 a mile, but it was only like 5 miles. So is that a good rate? Well, it depends on what my cost per day is. So it's all relative, but the what pays bills is consistency. And so at the times that Jeff was talking about earlier, where I was making more money, I was actually running more miles, and I got rid of the gaps. That was the same thing when I went from Landstar to Schneider. I got rid of the gaps. At Landstar and Schneider, my rate per mile was the same, but my rate per day increased because there was no more gaps. And so consistency is what builds business. And so kind of in the same concept of what we were talking about earlier. So,
well, another thing about cheap freight, and that's the thing about running different areas. If you're in some area and the freight gets really, really cheap, well, move out of that area and go to where the freight isn't what you consider cheap and run that area.
Right.
And eventually that your home area's got to go back up, because if enough trucks leave, supply and demand.
Right. And the other thing, like what Alan was saying too, is if you get $4 a mile to go 1,000 miles somewhere, and then you only get say $2 a mile out the same distance, then you add up both loads and all the miles, and what's that average? Probably north of 3, or
right.
at least 275. And if your costs are $2 a mile, and if it's done in 5 days, then you've made your money. Depending on what your rate per day or rate per mile is.
Right. And Alan's got a great program because he was a trucker. He owned trucks, and he developed a software program because he knows what you need out there, and it gives you everything. It'll give you your cost per mile and your net costs and all that stuff. It'll give it all. And I gave away all that free trucking office swag, like that hat there. I gave all that stuff away that one 2 weeks ago, and it cost me, I don't know, $100-something to ship everything. Shipping's expensive, right?
Yep.
But everybody's got their cool trucking office swag, wearing it around. What's going on, cool trucking?
Oh, nothing much. Just kicking back here and listening to you guys chit chat. Thought I'd join in and add my 2 cents on everything like I always do.
Can I only get 1 cent of it, please? Wait, Diane said I only can listen to 1 cent of what you got to say.
So how you all doing?
Oh, we're doing good, man. We're just messing with you. Got a mess with you. You're from Idaho, man. Did you bring me any spuds?
Well, you need a box? I can get you a box.
I need some taters, man.
Yeah, I can get a box of spuds. Maybe
Steve
a box of onions too if you want.
Drop some taters off to Steve. He needs some taters.
No taters.
Maybe a bag of onions as well.
He doesn't eat potatoes. He'll take the onions. Yeah.
What's that?
You take onions, you cut them in half, and you bake them in butter. That's a good meal right there.
Oh yeah.
Look at that face, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all kinds of onions and tater sheds around where I live.
Well, you're just up hanging out, and what? Diane's sleeping on you?
Yeah, she's sleeping, and we're just kicking back here in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and went shopping at Walmart. You know,
Oh,
behind the Hucks, and
oh, the Hux. That used to be an awesome truck stop. Is it
yep,
still good?
it's now a Flying J.
Well, yes. Flying J bought them out. They still got the hole in the fence, so you can walk through the hole to
The
get to the
fence ain't
door.
even there no more.
Oh, they took it down.
Yeah, at least on that backside, not on the side, but over on the backside. Yeah, it's not even there now.
Somebody might have backed over.
Yeah,
it
many people ran into it.
Yeah, it wasn't in good shape last time I was there, but yeah, that's a good spot because you can go into Walmart and not have to eat that crappy Flying J food and get yourself a rotisserie chicken from Wally World there.
Yep.
Right.
Now that I got Jeff and you on at the same time, we can discuss this deadhead thing because I just heard Jeff repeat what I said last night.
Let's just dump him right out of here, Steve. Oh, he's back. Oh, go ahead, cool truck.
No, that's what I was trying to explain in the chat, but my thumbs don't move fast enough to say what I want to say, and I end up messing up. But yeah, that's what we were down in Atlanta, and rates down there are in the toilet. So plus, we don't like idle. We didn't want to idle the truck, so we went up to Mount Eagle and spent the weekend up there so Diane could get her 34 back. And then I booked a load out of just east of Cooksville, Tennessee, is where we booked it. Then got almost 270 a mile headed back to Idaho, and there was nothing down in Atlanta, anything close to that.
Well, 270 is a good rate going that far distance. It should have been in the threes, right? It should be in the threes. But
right.
In this time, in this economy, what's going on right now, in this 2 week moment, you did really well at 270 for that distance.
Yeah, so on the all miles, what'd that come out to?
Well, I haven't even figured that out yet. I think it's let's see, 34 coming out, then down to Atlanta was 2350, and then 45 going back, and then I'll get 1,000 from Salt Lake to Boise.
He's around 10,250.
Because here's why I asked.
And then you get how much going over there to Salt Lake, Boise?
Yeah, I'll be getting well, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I called a broker today.
You'd be about $12,000 for the term.
I called a broker today, and he was telling me from Salt Lake to Boise was $750. And I says, man, that's way too cheap. I said, I've been doing it for you guys for $1,200 for the last 6 months. I said, I'll go down to 1,000. He said, well, I can't do it today, but call me back tomorrow and I'll give it to you for 1,000.
Well, yeah, I was trying to get a truck out of Salt Lake, and they only wanted to pay $1 a mile.
Right.
But back to the deadhead thing. So I had a friend that was going back and forth between St. Louis to Salt Lake City during the COVID world, which, you were lucky to get, north of $2 a mile.
Right.
Getting $2.25, I believe. But then they were deadheading back to St. Louis. But yet they wouldn't move in their own area for less than $2 a mile. But when you add up all the miles together, you're running for $1, but it was like $2.50. Now you're running for $1.25 all miles.
So the same as what he would have got if he stayed around the house.
Cool trucking.
Right.
Yes.
See, and that's another good thing about, you knew that broker, right? Salt Lake to Boise.
Right.
Right. Right now, the average line off for that lane is like $835.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're above that.
That's if when I call him back, he does give it to me for 1,000. He might have found somebody else for $750. So that's always a possibility.
Well, the reality is this: there's a lot of people that overextend themselves on their credit and equipment, and so they're going to be desperate to keep moving, and they're going to underbid you, even though they can't afford to underbid you. They're going to underbid you every single time to keep from moving, because a lot of people, despite the fact that they're in the spot market, don't have control over their rate, don't have control over what they book, and their dispatchers are told, you better just find me something so I'm not sitting. And with fuel being as high as high as it is, well, you're wasting a gallon an hour if you're idling, right? So it's in your best interest to keep moving. So in order to keep moving, some people are just going to take whatever's thrown at them. And I'll give you a good example. When I was at Landstar, I made the mistake of going into El Paso without looking what was coming out. That was a problem that I had when I was at Landstar. And I got there and there was just absolutely nothing. But I was like, well, there must not be any trucks in the area or something like that. Not understanding the situation. I get to the Petro and it looked like a Landstar terminal. I'm like, well, this is why I can't find any good rates. And then I was talking to a couple of Landstar drivers that were parked there, and they said, yeah, there are guys here that will run for 75 cents a mile all day and every day. And that's why you never see anything on their board. Yet they were all there. They were all in business. They were all making it, So it's that's just how this industry is.
Yeah, we unloaded down just south of Atlanta, and I said, heck with it, we're not going to sit here all night. It was hot down there, humid. So we dead-headed straight to the top of Mount Eagle. It was nice up there. So that's where we spent the weekend up there. Even if we were going to get her 34, even if the rates were pretty good, I still would have dead-headed out of there just to be able to sit on top of Mount Eagle and be comfortable and not idle.
Thanks, Nevada. I appreciate it. Yeah, so let's get Alan's busting our chops over there on Facebook. So we should say, hey, everybody go on YouTube. Trucking Office has a YouTube channel. Go to his YouTube channel. Then maybe the next time he goes live, he'll do a swag drawing. What do you think? Think he should do a swag drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If I had more shirts, I could do one now, but I'm out. What happened to Cool Trucking?
Here, I will share this.
He's got that Cricket phone. What are you sharing?
His channel.
Oh, Alan Campbell, we're sharing your channel on the tubes.
There.
Well, we'll just have to make sure he goes out and buys some more hats. Look, he's trying to say he gave us all the swag.
Yeah, he did. Alan gave me this hat.
Yeah, I gave away all the hats last time we were on there. I was doing a good drawings, man. People were guessing like crazy. And Nomadic Brit, he sent me a picture showing me because he won a shirt and a hat because he won twice, right? Nomadic Brit, he sent me a thing saying, hey, thanks for the stuff. There he is right there. Sorry, guys, lost signal. What'd I tell you, Steve? He's on the Cricket.
He's sitting still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got that like that Walmart phone or something. What's their thing? Smart Talk or something? Yeah, he's on between a Smart Talk and he's in a Cricket.
And get his minutes updated.
Look, I know, Cool Trucking. You still like to take the aluminum foil and put it on the antenna and hold it on it. You remember, Steve, you're old enough. Maybe you're not old enough. Back in the day when I know Alan Campbell's old enough. Back in the day when we were watching TV when we were young, we had to put rabbit ears on the rabbit ear antennas. We had to put aluminum foil on them and move them around and try to get a picture in.
Oh yeah, I remember my dad in his truck used to carry this black and white TV, and he had the rabbit ears for the main channels, and then the UHF had the round circle thing.
Yeah, the round circle, yeah.
And you're constantly, adjusting it depending on how many trucks were driving the trucks up. Now, what I liked about that is you can barely get a station in and still be able to watch something, whereas this digital crap, you either got a signal or you don't.
Right, but what you liked about that was, how many siblings did you have?
I had 3 older sisters.
Right. So what happened was they picked on Steve, and they said, "Steve, go up there and move that rabbit." And as soon as I come in, I said, "Don't just stand right there, Steve." And he couldn't watch. He had to stand there holding it while they were watching their show.
Yep. That happened to me all the time. I was abused as well.
Yeah. Well,
I was in remote control. Hey, turn on channel 3. Okay, and I'd have to get up and go click, 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 and then you're on channel 3.
Yeah, like Robert says, his dad had a remote back then. Yeah, it was Rob.
Yep.
Son, get up and go change that channel. I was the youngest kid too, so I was always picked on too. You know, they made me do everything. My older brothers. Yep. See, Rob's anyway. He told me to change the channel.
And then the first remotes were really a clicker. It was like up or down.
Right. Yeah.
Click, click, click. But of course, you only had like 4 channels to scroll through.
Right.
Unless you lived in like Phoenix or Dallas, and you had about 10 because half of them were Spanish.
I think it might even have this here. Well, I don't know if Bob has a truck open or not, but here, drive position. Contact bobcat7@yahoo.com. Woo woo. Right? Come over here, hang out, have fun. We got the best safety guy in the business.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just looking at him right now. He's got a trucking office hat on. Snowlord's the name. He'll play the guitar for you. Uh-oh. You're in trouble. I heard the beat.
Not yet.
I got some more stuff going on. What's going on now? I'm missing my History Channel. I like watching that series. You ever watch the History Channel, like the different series, like the food that built America, and they go to the machineries that built America?
Yep, that's an awesome show.
Yeah, I love watching like the food that built America. It's really interesting how cutthroat, or how these people just put everything on the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And built it. Like Hershey's. You ever watch the one about Hershey?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he spent all that money and hadn't even made the product yet.
Didn't even know what the product was going to be.
Right. Didn't even know what it was going to be. That was the kahunas, wasn't it? Right? I mean, didn't even know what the product was going to be. Nothing. Just kept put all of his money on it. What was it, like $1 million today? He just put it all out there.
And all that food that built America, what was the one thing that they all had in common that made them $1 million companies? What was the one thing that they all had in common? World War II. All of them. Hershey,
yeah.
Kraft, Heinz. World War II all made them a lot of money because they were able to get on that government contract.
Right.
You know, and
the same thing for a lot of those machineries, right? The machineries that built America, same thing. They got on that contract and they made a lot of money on it. But that's some cool stuff, though. When you go back and look at it and see what they did, and especially like chewing gum and stuff. That was a cool one too, about Wrigley.
Yep, and then all the fast food joints.
Oh yeah, yeah. And how they, Mrs. Fields Cookie, she came up with the first computer to do inventory and track sales.
Mm-hmm.
In her, with the kiosk, like selling the strip malls, right? Or in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first one to, when the computers come out, says, well, can we make that do this? Well, yeah, I think so. And they put it in all their stores so they could track their sales and stuff. So they were the innovator of that. And then when you look at the automotive industry, that was cutthroat, man. They had people trying to kill people and everything else in that deal.
I haven't watched that series, the one about the cars that build America. Is that the one?
Oh, yeah, you ought to see the Motor City. Yeah, it was pretty bad with Ford and Chrysler and everybody going at it. Chevy or GM.
Oh, you got KFC. That dude, Colonel Sanders, man, him and his brother,
yeah,
like they actually killed people.
Yeah, they were feisty guys, weren't they?
You don't miss
Yeah.
them, boys.
No link, come back in. Yeah, just scroll up to the channel.
Yeah,
Here, I'll put the link.
Oh, that's right.
I'll put the link. There you go. Costs $10 to click on it.
Yeah, but he's going to be in here for like 5 minutes and then he'll lose signal again.
All right, Bob. Have a good night. You know, Bob caught a bunch of fish the other day. He was in this tournament. Jerome says I do a mix of drop and hook and load out trailer.
Well, that's good because it gives you the ability to, you know, be adaptive, you know, when it calls for it. So.
Yeah, Elmo Kid. See, everybody watches it. Even Chef Boyardee was on the government dime during MREs in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Hey, now you guys are picking on my phone. I got a S21, latest model out there. It's got to be the area. AT&T, bad area.
No, you're on Nextel. Come on, let's tell it like it is.
Actually, my other phone's T-Mobile, and it's the same damn way here.
When I was with Sprint, Illinois was a rough spot. There was a whole section of 57 there that like no signal. But
yep.
I'm surprised I don't have any issues there anymore.
Yes, I found that.
There he goes. The circle of death. He's got the circle of death. You know what it is? It's Walmart. It's Walmart putting them out, right? It's Walmart doing it. Well, wait a minute. He's popping back in. Circle of death. Hey, what's up, cool trucking?
Yep. It keeps going from 2 dots to 1 dot to 2 dots to 1 dot.
We haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
Oh, nothing. Just hanging out. Coming back out of my winter vacation, my winter slumber.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get up and see you, Jeff, but you keep telling me it's snowing up there.
It did. Okay, but then, it was 80 plus degrees the other day. All right?
Okay.
We had 77. It was snowing. Then it went to 77 degrees. It went to 80, right? It went to 65 today. We'll be at 45 and 32, 42 and 26.
Jiminy crickets.
42 and 26, 29 degrees, 32 degrees. They won't get up to 50 degrees at night at all for the next week and a half.
Jeez.
Come see me. Come on.
Well, we got to do another loop. We'll be out that way.
Yeah, we'll do another loop when it gets warm. We'll do another loop.
They do that loop once a month.
Yep.
See, you guys are starting to fade out now again.
Mr. Charles, he's a Michigander, and he'll tell you, S22 was out. That is last year's technology. You got last year's technology.
What, the 21 was last year's technology?
Yeah, the S22's out already. See, this is up-to-date technology, this phone here. Because there's no 4 out yet. This is the 3. 4 is not here yet. But, give it a couple months. This will probably be old technology.
Yep.
I know this iPhone here is old technology. This is older than the hills.
Well, what service do you guys have for your phone service? AT&T, T-Mobile, what?
Verizon.
Yeah, I had Verizon.
I had AT&T for 20 years. And right here, AT&T Tower, we didn't get very good signal. We still got signal. But if we went down to one corner, we didn't get it. Verizon Tower is just down the street from us, so I finally switched over. So I had to have good signal to run the business.
For me,
go ahead, Steve.
For me, what sealed the deal was I was in Niagara Water in Oklahoma City with Sprint. And if I was in door 30, no signal. If I was in door 25, If I was in door 20, perfect signal. Like just that many feet was the signal difference. And I was having
and Wii Boost didn't help you? He gone. He gone. He gone again.
So I was trying to sign a document and I couldn't because it wasn't opening my email because I was on door 25 at that particular time because I was in now there a lot. And so a friend of mine said, go to Verizon, get the business plan. You won't regret it. And I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, you see, I got Cool Trucking in there twice. I got his little circle of death next to him, so he knows what's going to happen. It just letting him know.
Well, I just moved. Maybe it'll stay. I'm up here in the front seat now.
Oh, yeah, the other one's gone. Now you're all by yourself. Hey, you got the night light on.
You gotta like my shirt? Let's see if I can get it in there.
We are the what is that, antivirus? Okay.
We are the antivirus.
What? Well, you better not say that too loud. I mean, you know, they'll be pulling your blood out of you to give shots to everybody. What do you think about the Twitter thing? You think Elon's going to buy Twitter?
Oh yeah.
What does he think the first thing he's going to do?
I've been reading up on it. I think it's pretty much a done deal because he's got a bunch of investors going in with him. They already got the money to buy it completely all the way out.
Right, but what do you think he's going to do? First thing he's going to do?
He's going to put it back to a platform that's free.
Right, but whose account is he going to turn on?
Oh, come on. Orange Man good.
Orange Man good. Well, Elon, what is he worth? 200 and something billion?
Yep.
He
said he's going to take the salaries away from all the board members. There's one guy on the board that doesn't even own one share of stock in Twitter. Owns nothing of Twitter.
How is that right?
Yep.
That ain't right.
No.
Well, that's fixing the change.
That's good.
I wish I had the cool backgrounds like Snorlaw does in his videos.
That's better.
I can't do backgrounds on mine.
Shoot, I'm going to have to powder my head. It's glowing up here.
And I'm using his StreamYard thing. He loves that thing.
Yeah, I'm on Firefox, so I don't have the background thing going on. I can only do that in Chrome. But I'm going to get off here.
Oh, there's his screen. Look.
There you go.
Yeah, you need the green screen though. I have the green screen if I want to put it on there. I got to get out of here though. I think I'm going to run up to the hospital.
All right. Glad you guys could see me.
Hey, wait, hey, I like trucking. There you go. He likes trucking.
All right, Jeff. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, all that good stuff, right, Snore Lord?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click the thumbs up on the way out.
Yeah, click the thumbs up on the way out. And here, we'll throw your Cash App up on the board. Well, I can't find. I'm going through all these things here. Here, I'll give you this one.
I am in the house. I'm always in the house.
Yeah. I don't know if I have your one on there. Here. You want to get dispatched? Snore Lord? There you go.
There you go.
He'll do a great job for you.
We will at least try.
And let's leave with some Snorlord music.
There you go.
We'll see y'all later.